Guys, wow. Um, I landed in Korea. I've been here a couple hours and I already love the place. At least the area that I'm staying in. Um, my eyes probably look really red. I've been up since 4:30 this morning, Seoul time, and I was up before that. I was up before that for 7 hours. My flight started at 4:30 a.m. Seoul time, and it landed a bit early, I guess. um I think, um 2 something, no, 3 something, 3:18 in the afternoon. And so that was nice. I didn't have to deal with Seoul rush hour, which is a little bit later than it is back home, but still you don't want to deal with it. I was a little wary of the bus because I'd heard that you won't be allowed on if you have luggage with you, in particular, regular size suitcases. I don't have one. I have a carry-on size, but I have a very full backpack. Well, it could be fuller, but when you pack it takes up space. Um, and I was told by a rival bus company employee that I would not be allowed on the particular bus that I wanted. Um, but once I found out where to catch that bus, I caught it no problem. And there was hardly anybody on that bus. It was a bit of a milk run. It took almost an hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour to get to the hotel. Once I got to the stop, I got sort of turned around and I didn't know which way to go. I asked some people who were sitting at the bus stop, and luckily one of them spoke a bit of English, and she showed me the correct way. If not for her, I'd have walked in the completely opposite direction. Um, when I landed at Incheon Airport, the place wasn't empty, um, but it was very, very fluid getting through customs. Um, the I forget what they're called. The travelators weren't working in some spots, so we had to like drag our luggage on carpet, which causes friction and it sort of drags you down. But oh, got through, no problem. Um, got myself a T Money card. Thank goodness I learned about that last minute. I'll tell you what. Um, I got a T Money card, put $10 on it, got me to the hotel. I had some trouble getting from Terminal 1 to Terminal 2. I almost took the train, which I didn't want to do because I knew there was a free shuttle. And I got down to the train level and I talked to an information person, and they said, no, if you want to take the free shuttle, just go back up to level 1 and exit at gate 8, and it's right there. So I did that. And while I was waiting there, this very friendly Chinese American woman just started talking. She just started talking to me and she said she was going to Terminal 2 to pick up a friend who was coming in on a different flight. And she had luggage with her. She had more than I did. She even complimented me on how little luggage I have for a 2-week vacation. And she got on the shuttle bus with me. There's 2 stops between T1 and T2. But she did not get off at the stop in between. Maybe she did, and I just didn't notice but she definitely didn't get off at T2. She just vaporized somewhere between T1 and T2. The stop in between T1 and T2 is specifically for a parkade, but also a Hyatt hotel, which is where I think she was staying. She was here on business. with other people, and they were hitting a few different countries all at the same time. They were hitting Korea, Japan, and one other place I can't remember what she said. Um, and She was really helpful. And so when I got to T2, I got all turned around. I ended up following the signs for bus, and they don't call it a subway; they still call it a railroad. Um, Bus and railroad. So I went there, and that's the rival bus company. And they straight up told me, no, no, no. If you want the Incheon local bus, this is not where you go. And then she started telling me stuff I didn't even ask, and she was answering it in a negative way, like, no, you don't catch it here, and by the way, you're not going to be able to get on the bus you want with all that luggage. And then so I looked at the maps because I noticed they had a map that had local bus, and she goes, no, that's different. What you're looking for is not over there. So I'm just like, okay, fine. So I just went back upstairs to where I began, and I talked to an information person there, and he goes, yep, just go back up to level 3, exit gate number 3, and I swear that's where I came in. And the bus you want is right there. And I started using, it's called Cacao Maps, but it's shortened to just Ka Maps. And it's really helpful, but you have to know which specific bus you're on. And there's no way of knowing that from being inside the bus. The bus I was on had a clock at the front. It didn't work. There was no serial number, no unit number, nothing on the inside of the bus to sort of coordinate with the satellite ID number that they had on the app. But so you sort of have to know where you are, where you're starting, and then quickly open the app and find that station and which bus just left that station. And you'll see on the app, it'll physically move. It won't move in real time, but it'll move. And it'll sync up with each stop that it makes. And so I sat on the bus. There was never more than, 7 people on that bus at any given time. And I was the last person. I was part of the last group to get off, because once you get to my station, it starts to loop back. It's a big milk run. It's a big loop. And so what happened is I checked in. I was going to take a shower and then pop out for some dinner. Couldn't get the bathroom lights to work. Now I figured out how to do it. I still haven't got the fans or the air conditioning working. But I said it took too long getting the bathroom lights to work. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna go out. I actually don't smell that bad at all. I'm not sweating too crazily. So I'm just gonna go out and I'm gonna grab something close. So I went to the kombini, but the guy didn't have any sandwiches. He had lots of alcohol. Not for me. Not no more. He had lots of noodles, more noodles than you could ever eat, probably, and chicken legs and hot dogs and things like that, like in a pre-pack. I was like, I don't want it. So I went back to the hotel because there's a fried chicken place on the ground floor of the hotel. She wanted $30 for fried chicken. So I'm like, I know this. There's another fried chicken place I saw on the way from the bus stop. I'll go try that place. So I went there, and they're like $20 fried chicken. like, well, 20,000 won. I equate it to 20 Canadian dollars. And I said, I'll have water, please. So they bring me bottled water with a Dixie cup. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll have to pay for that too. Didn't have to pay for the water. But I did only get one bottle. I probably could have used two. They took, it felt like I was tired, so maybe I'd lost track of time, but it felt like they took a long time to cook that chicken. And when it came out, I looked at it and I'm like, that's a whole chicken. It wasn't cut into primals. They cut the breast cut funny, like some of my halal friends do. They don't cut the breast into. They cut it into quarters. But it was a whole, very lean, but it was a very lean whole fried chicken. Deep fried in bits, and it had no flavor. I don't know what. Maybe I have to ask for something special when I do it, or maybe I have to go to a special restaurant to get that. This place was actually more of a seafood restaurant, but they had fried chicken on the sandwich boards, so that's what I wanted. And then they brought me honey mustard, salt. What was the other thing they brought? I can't remember. Oh, they brought kimchi and they brought pickled radish, and then they also brought me what a lot of people would call a chijimi, but it was made with kimchi, not green onions or not chives or whatever. They called it a kimchi pancake. And that was nice. The kimchi was nice. The pickled radish was nice. The honey mustard, it was more mustard than honey, and I don't even think it was honey. It was just sweetener. And yeah, it was really nice, and very filling. I have to say, it ended up being a whole chicken minus everything but the head and neck and the feet, basically. But when I say this is normally a seafood restaurant, I saw what some of the other tables were getting. They were buying like $60, $70, $90 dinners, which I think is completely reasonable when you see what they get. The servers bring out these huge, well, not huge, but they bring out these pots, but there's like a huge Jenga on top of it. And the Jenga is made of like scallops on the shell, and I think there was even abalone in a couple of the dishes. But you just look and you're like, oh my god. So I asked, I said, what's the soup? Like, is it a gochujang or gochugaros type soup? Is it spicy? And she's like, no, it's just like seafood soup. It's nothing spicy, but you can get it spicy if you want, she said. And the two servers were two young women from Nepal. They're my favorite part of Korea. It's the whole neighborhood, really. It's fantastic. It's almost like the whole of I don't even know the name of the place I'm in right now because I'm so tired. But it's almost like the whole place is just one big dirt lot for development, and then they've built up certain areas, and then they left all this dusty dirt in between. It's a little apocalyptic, but if you've watched enough Korean TV, you know how it works. They build little communes around. They build like 4 towers, all connected with a communal parking lot underneath, and little shopping center on the ground floor. And then that's like a self-contained village. And then you go down the road a little bit, and there's another one. Saw a few of those. Yeah, Korea's nice. I was the restaurant I went to. I sat inside, but it was one wall was missing, and it was like they had a patio, and it was just like the whole. You could just walk out. And it wasn't their patio, but they'd rented it from the city, and they had tables out there, and it was just really nice. You could there was music out there. I don't know if the guy was playing or if it was recorded, but I really wanted to get some film, and I was just too tired to do it. Anyway, 안녕하세요.